Listen to a word, just one word, China. What does this word conjure in your mind? Is it a story thousands of years long, a colossal heritage, meticulously, fastidiously recorded in the annals of history? A clear, uninterrupted flow of history, originating from the Yellow River Basin. We think of the dynasties, one after another. The Xia, the Shang, the Zhou. We think of the great sages, Confucius, Laozi, the men who shaped the philosophy of an entire civilization. We think of the Great Wall, a giant stone dragon, coiling through thousands of miles of mountains, guarding the borders of a unified empire. It is not just a defense, it is a border of perception, clearly defining what was civilization and what was barbarian. Chinese history, in our minds, is a great river, a majestic river, powerful, clear, and predictable. A history with writing, with systems, with order. A history that we, or at least we thought, we understood. We had mapped its flow. We had identified its source. And we were wrong. We were unimaginably wrong. We were fundamentally wrong because we looked, but we did not see. We assumed there was only one river, one source, when in fact, history is a vast delta with many hidden currents, many parallel streams, and one of them, both magnificent and mysterious, was completely different. A river that had been forgotten. And it was not on some distant frontier. It was right in the center of the fertile land of Sichuan. Hidden in the earth, a mystery has awakened. A mystery that challenges everything we thought we knew. A civilization that doesn't belong, a story torn from the annals of humanity. Come with me back in time. Back to the summer of 1986. The place is Sanxingdui, a small, quiet village in Sichuan province. The name means 3-star mounds, named for 3 large earthen hills that locals believed were the tombs of a Han Dynasty king. The summer air here is suffocating, hot and heavy. The endless drone of cicadas, like a constant soundtrack to the hard labor of the farmers at a local brick factory. They are digging for clay. They are not searching for the past. They are not dreaming of glory or treasure. They are simply searching for a livelihood, one shovelful, one pickaxe, swing at a time, sweat soaking their backs. The work is repetitive. Dig down, shovel up, toss aside. Then a sound, a dry, jarring sound, different from a shovel hitting soft earth or the scraping of gravel. It was the sound of metal, or something very hard. They stop, brush away the topsoil. They look down. The shovel blade has struck a hard, strangely shaped greenish object. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. They keep digging, more carefully now, and then other things begin to emerge. Pieces of jade, strange fragments of pottery. They alert the local authorities. Archaeologists are quickly called in. And in that moment, those farmers had no idea that the pit they were digging for brick clay was in fact a deep fissure in the wall of history. They had just unknowingly found not a treasure, but a lost world. They had just opened the first gate of hell, or as the scientists call it, sacrificial pit number 1. Everything moved quickly after that. A tense, expectant silence fell over the excavation site. The only sounds were the hushed whispers of the archaeologists, the sound of soft brushes sweeping away the dust of 3,000 years. And then, the mysteries began to reveal themselves. This was not a typical ancient tomb. There were no royal skeletons, no grave goods arranged in ritual order. This was a pit. To be precise, 2 pits, discovered almost simultaneously, pit number 1 and pit number 2. And they were mass graves of mysteries, a place filled with things that had been smashed, burned, and buried intentionally, systematically. Thousands of artifacts, thousands, from tons of elephant tusks, some longer than a human body, to hundreds of exquisitely crafted objects of gold, bronze, and jade. But the thing that stunned the archaeologists, the thing that forced the entire world to redefine Chinese history, was not the quantity, it was the style. This was not the familiar bronze work of the Shang dynasty from the Yellow River Basin. Shang art, as we knew it, was formal, symmetrical, orderly. It was made to serve ancestor worship rituals, with majestic dragon and phoenix motifs, intricate cauldrons, and elegant cups. But this thing from Sanxingdui, it was completely different. It was wild, it was terrifying, it was hauntingly alien. Look at the masks. They are enormous. Some are nearly a meter tall, weighing hundreds of kilograms. They could never have been worn by humans. They are too large, too heavy. They had to be masks for gods, or perhaps for demons. They were made to be seen from a distance, in a ritual we cannot begin to comprehend. And the eyes. Oh, those eyes! They are the center of the obsession. They are not human eyes. They bulge outward like short cylinders, jutting straight from the sockets. Some pupils extend for tens of centimeters, as if they were designed to see through space and time. They are not merely looking, they are watching. They stare straight into your soul right now, daring you to decipher their existence. The ears are huge, exaggerated, pointed, like the ears of mythical creatures capable of hearing sounds from another world. And the mouth, a long, taut slit, stretching almost to the ears. Some are pressed thin in a cold, mysterious smile. Others are wide open as if screaming an eternal silent scream. Who were they, these gods? And who were the people who made them? And then they found the heads. Bronze heads, life-sized, dozens of them. They have strangely similar faces, almond-shaped eyes, a straight, high nose, lips pressed firmly together, full of determination. And they have elaborate, complex hairstyles, either braided or coiled high. On some of the heads, traces of gold foil masks remained, thin as paper, crafted to fit them perfectly, hiding the bronze face beneath. Who were these portraits of? Were they shamans? Were they kings? Or were they sacrificial victims? Why were there only heads and no bodies? And just when you think you can be no more astonished, they found the divine tree. Try to imagine it. A tree made entirely of bronze, nearly 4 meters tall. 4 meters. It was cast more than 3,000 years ago with a technique that stuns even modern experts. The trunk rises straight. 3 levels of branches curve and flow from the main stem. On each branch, bronze spirit birds are perched, beaks turned to the sky as if singing. And on the branches, bronze orbs hang like fruit. And this entire massive structure is supported by a domed base, symbolizing a mountain, held up by 3 kneeling mythical beasts. It is a masterpiece of bronze casting, an unbelievable sophistication. Could this be the Fusang tree from mythology, where the 10 sun crows perched and took turns flying into the sky each day? Or was it a cosmic axis, a sacred bridge between the human world and the divine? And then the gold scepter emerged. It was not bronze, it was solid gold. Nearly 1.5 meters long, wrapped around a wooden core that had long since rotted away, leaving only its precious golden sheath. And on it, engravings tell a story. At the bottom is a figure wearing a crown with a mysterious face, standing atop a mountain. Above him, a fish pierced by an arrow. And at the very top, a spirit bird in flight. This was clearly a symbol of supreme power. The power of a king, a shaman, one who could command the fish in the water, the birds in the sky, and the people on earth. This is the heart of the Sanxingdui Mystery. While the Central Plains civilization of the Shang was flourishing in the north, here in Sichuan, a place thought to be isolated by treacherous mountains, another kingdom, another civilization, was also reaching its own dazzling peak, a completely independent civilization. And their bronze casting technology, in terms of scale and complexity of pieces like the divine tree, even surpassed the Shang. But the biggest, deepest difference lay in their spiritual world. The Shang people worshipped their ancestors. They performed rituals to communicate with and ask for blessings from their departed forebears. But the Sanxingdui people, they did not worship ancestors. They worshipped a bizarre spirit world, a world of gods with protruding eyes, of human-faced birds, of winged tigers, of strange hybrid creatures. Their art was not for ancestor worship. It was like a gateway, a medium for communicating with cosmic forces. It feels like something from a primal nightmare, a completely different state of consciousness. This strangeness, this alienness, led many people, both the public and some researchers, to ask the most outlandish question: could this be evidence of extraterrestrials? It is a sensational theory, and one that grabs headlines, but it shows just how foreign these objects are to our understanding. Mainstream scientists, of course, reject this. This is the product of humans, of human imagination, of human skill. But which humans? The mystery only deepens with two facts. First, the complete absence of writing. Among thousands of artifacts found, not one character, not one text, not one name has been discovered. Nothing. This is almost impossible. How could such a complex society, a society capable of organizing the labor to mine and transport tons of bronze from afar, capable of bringing elephant tusks from the far south, thousands of kilometers away, and capable of casting technical masterpieces like the divine tree? How could such a society exist, manage itself, and thrive without writing? Or did they have it? Perhaps those mysterious engravings on the gold scepter, the fish, the bird, the man. Perhaps that was a form of pictographic language, a symbolic system for which we have lost the key. We don't know. They are silent. And second, the even more terrifying mystery, their sudden and violent disappearance. Remember, these artifacts were not respectfully interred in a tomb. They were found in two pits. They were smashed. The divine tree was broken. The masks were shattered. The heads were severed. They were burned. Traces of fire are clear on many artifacts. And then they were thrown into the pits chaotically. Tusks piled on masks, masks on pottery. Why? Why would a civilization destroy its own most sacred, most precious symbols? Why would they burn their own gods? Many theories have been proposed. Perhaps an invasion. An enemy came, destroyed the city, and performed a desecration ritual by destroying their icons. But there is little evidence of a large-scale war. The strongest and most tragic theory is a natural disaster. Sanxingdui is located in a geologically unstable area near the edge of the Tibetan tectonic plate. Geological evidence indicates that at the exact time this civilization collapsed, around 3,000 years ago, a massive earthquake or a series of earthquakes occurred. Imagine it. The ground shaking violently. Their massive city walls, tens of meters thick, crumbling. And worse, the river. The Min River, their lifeblood, the river that fed their agriculture, changed its course after the earthquake. It no longer flowed past their city. It abandoned them, or worse, it triggered a catastrophic flood, drowning everything. In that moment of ultimate desperation, they believed the gods were angry. Their world was collapsing. The earth shook. The waters rose. What did they do? They turned to the only thing they could control: ritual. They gathered all their sacred objects, the masks of their protruding-eyed gods, the heads of their shaman kings, the divine tree that connected the worlds, the gold scepter. And they performed one final ritual, a funeral for their own civilization. They smashed them, they burned them, they cast them into the sacrificial pits as one final offering, a desperate attempt to appease the wrath of the cosmic forces, of the gods who had turned their backs on them. But it did not save them. After that cataclysm, the Sanxingdui civilization, in all its brilliance and all its strangeness, vanished completely from history. They scattered. The story seemed to end there, an eternal mystery. But no. Traces of them, the survivors, perhaps migrated. About 50 kilometers away, at a site called Jinsha, archaeologists found artifacts in a similar style, but from a later period. Most famous is a stunning gold disc with a sun in the center and 4 spirit birds flying around it. It is beautiful, it is delicate, but it has lost the wildness, the terror, and the raw power of Sanxingdui. It feels like a faint echo, a dim memory of a great and terrible past. And then, just when the world thought the story was closed, in the year 2021, the world was shaken once again. Right next to the original pits from 1986, 6 new sacrificial pits were discovered. 6 more pits, from pit number 3 through pit number 8, and thousands of new artifacts began to emerge, this time under the live gaze of global media. A gold mask, even larger, heavier, covering one entire side of a face. A square bronze box with a domed lid, a mysterious treasure chest found filled with jade. Traces of silk, the earliest evidence of silk use in Sichuan, challenging the notion that silk was unique to the Central Plains. And perhaps most stunning of all, a nearly complete statue, a mythical beast, half animal, half bird, with flared ears carrying a man on its back, robed and standing in a solemn posture. Each new artifact does not solve the mystery. It asks 10 new questions. So the next time you hear the word China, do not just think of a single river of history flowing from the Yellow River. Think of an ancient world far more complex, vibrant, and diverse than we ever imagined, where many unique civilizations coexisted, competed, and shone brilliantly. Some, like the Shang, left us texts on oracle bones and tortoise shells. Others, like Sanxingdui, left us riddles made of bronze and gold. Who were they? What did they believe? And what did they fear so much that they had to destroy their own gods? Sanxingdui is a chapter torn from the annals of humanity. And those masks with their protruding eyes, they are still there. They are still staring at us from the darkness of 3,000 years, challenging us to understand, daring us to decipher. They are the guardians of a millennia-old secret, a forgotten story, a mysterious black hole at the very center of history. And that mystery, it is still there, waiting. Thanks for watching until the end. What was your favorite part? Please let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss my future content. Your support is my biggest motivation. Thank you all so much.